Yeah, hello. I'm Craig Bittner with our agency is called OSIGN, and that stands for Open Source Idea Generation Network. It's a group of marketing professionals who all um, collaborate together on various marketing concepts and ideas from developers, creators, copywriters, designers, and so we um, uh, attempt to make things a little more open source, bring some new concepts and ideas. And we have another division that we call Unagency, which primarily focuses on nonprofits. So we have a mix of for-profit and nonprofit clients. And so today we were going to talk about boosting your impact this holiday season and beyond. And I ended up calling it and beyond because I realized as I was putting this together that we are not, at the beginning of the holiday season, we're kind of once Halloween's over, where you've kind of already started. So I figured uh, a lot of people are already in the heart of their concepts, ideas, fundraising, marketing, what they wanted to do for the holidays already. If you're not, there are some things that we've put together as well that we could help initiate some of these concepts or ideas. Um, um, if there's anything that you see that kind of is interesting, we can talk about ways that we have done this for other nonprofits. So um, I'll kind of get started. We're primarily going to look at two main elements and various ways to do these. One is peer-to-peer fundraising. The other is cause marketing. Um, we touch on events because a lot of the events that we've done in the past have led to some of our peer-to-peer fundraising ideas that we've had. Um, but then we also wanted to stick with the holiday thing. So we were looking at some quick campaign ideas, and then small things if you're already in the heart of it, but you're just looking for small, innovative ways to um, do some things for the holidays. We just wanted to have a tiny list there as well. Um, and if you do have any other ideas yourself on as we go, I would like to incorporate your own questions or thoughts that you had and share with you things we've either done in the past or come up with some ways that we can integrate some of these things to improve fundraising. Um, the first thing I wanted to look at was peer-to-peer fundraising. And um, uh, I think this has become extremely popular. So I think a lot of people are already familiar with what this is. But if you don't, peer-to-peer fundraising is a method of raising money for nonprofit organizations by enlisting individuals to collect donations from their personal networks. Um, Basically, it's letting your peers do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, getting out in front of your audience by your peers. And so um, the way that it works is nonprofits will recruit volunteers to create personalized fundraising campaigns and promote them to their personal networks. Um, Fundraisers can use a variety of methods to raise money, such as asking for donations, online, participating in events, or selling branded merchandise. Um, Different ways that we might do that are through giving pages, which I'll go over some examples of those uh, at the end of this portion of the presentation. And virtual challenges, which I think is where most people are familiar with, or at least the challenge piece of that. Um, and then some different social media campaign ideas. Um, so first, the benefits. The nice thing about peer-to-peer fundraising is it's a way to not only raise funds but also reach new audiences. Um, You can also engage existing supporters. It's a great way to get them involved, but you're basically trying to reach out to your existing supporters and say, um, uh, "Get us in front of your uh, sphere of influence, and we want to help you do that." And so that's basically what a nonprofit is trying to get in front of. They're engaging their existing supporters and get them to uh, share their content or their fundraising activities and their um, mission to people that maybe haven't been familiarized with it in the past. Um, it's decentralized and supporter driven, um, and it boosts an organization's online visibility. It's just one of those things that gives you a lot more um, places to be able to market. It gives you a lot of additional content, and I'll share some examples of exactly how we do that. Um, so there are some ideas for peer-to-peer marketing. It can look at a number of like there's a lot of different ways that we can um, do peer-to-peer fundraising. One of them is supporter participation. So you want to empower your supporters to provide you with ideas for how they want to support you. Um, this is an interesting one because what we mean by this is on your website or through social media. Uh, we found it really helpful to actually engage your supporters and ask them, do you have any ideas on how you can help us um, get the word out, how you can help us fundraise, how you can help us get volunteers, or and so a lot of supporters want to help and they may even have ideas on how to help. So we want to encourage supporter participation by giving them a place to be able to say, hey, have you thought about this? Would you want to try that? The more you can engage them in this process with you, I think the better ideas you can start to get. Um, Giving days. So we have Giving Tuesday coming up, and typically a Giving Day is a 24-hour campaign where you're trying to get the word out quickly, and you're encouraging your supporters to um, send them to a specific support page. And we'll give you some examples of these again in a moment. The other concept for peer-to-peer fundraising would even be partnerships. And to get more into the partnership aspect of this, I have a whole nother section on cause marketing, which is almost specifically business partnership based. And so I don't want to focus on that here. That'll be in the next section. And then matching gift drives. So um, reaching out to some of your major donors and supporters, um, and getting them to um, provide a match, and then I'm sure you saw a lot of that during the um, election and the campaign season. Election season, you'll see a lot of the matching gifts, of course, but that's something that we've done a lot of, and that's something we can share more with you if that's. That typically falls under the peer-to-peer fundraising concept. Um, Competitive team fundraising. A lot of times you'll see this in events. So if you have a 5K or some kind of walk or pub crawl or some type of event, the peer-to-peer fundraising usually goes really well with that type of event where you're encouraging people to register for the event and get people to sign up for the event through your own page. And that's something we've set up in the past, and we can look at some examples of. Um, and then finally, supporter pages. And this is one I want to show you an example of in just a moment. But this is something, again, that empowers users to tell their own story. And so when users start to tell their story to their friends and family, um, you can use that to promote yourself in a number of ways. So we'll give you one way that we've done that for one of our clients here recently. Um, and the next one here that I want to go over are just some tools. I just wanted to, there's thousands of, if you do a Google search for peer-to-peer fundraising, which I'm sure most of you have done, there's no shortage of um, platforms that will help you do it. Kindful was one. There's nonprofit CRMs like Bloomerang, DonorBox, GiveButter that have their own peer-to-peer fundraising software. There are third-party tools that aren't CRMs that are like GiveWP and Classy that have their own peer-to-peer marketing. But the one thing that we've noticed with a variety of clients is when they use those tools, they are sometimes limited by what they can do. So if you've got an idea, you basically, if you want to use a third-party tool to run a peer-to-peer marketing campaign, you have to see how their tool operates and then figure out, okay, yeah, we will launch one just like that. What we try to encourage a lot of our clients to do is look at some of those tools, figure out what you like about it, but also what are some new ideas that you don't like, and do something custom. Do something you can use something like GiveWP. We're not typically reinventing the wheel when we talk about custom. We are looking for open source solutions to help our clients pull in something that already exists. Um, and so we want to look at tools that are already out there and figure out, okay, how do we combine different tools um, uh, for peer-to-peer fundraising um, that will do what you want it to do, where you're not bound by the restrictions or the formatting that's there before. We had one client, Down Syndrome Innovations, where they were using Classy at one point to help with um, um, their event. They have an event, a walk event that they have every year, but there were so many things that they weren't able to do because again, they were just bound by that software and what the software's limitations were. So if you do have some ideas on how to improve it, we can take what's already built and do a little bit of custom tweaking to come up with something that uh, one that we've done recently, and it's basically a tribute site. And I was going to go to this site, but I won't. I think I'll just share the screenshots with you. But this is um, what I was mentioning earlier when I was talking about creating supporter generated stories, basically allowing your supporters to fundraise for you and to basically do so by creating their own content. And so this is one of those peer-to-peer sites that we've created. This is for American Stroke Foundation. And the way that this works is a user will basically create their own page. So um, we ask them to tell their story while helping us tell our own. So um, it basically works by allowing a user to create a tribute page. Um, so you'll start with a form and you say, all right, this page, you're creating a page that's in memory of or in honor of somebody. You put in their info, you tell us a little bit about something about the person you're honoring, you put in different milestones. Um, uh, and then we also have a feature on this particular page where we wanted um, uh, their supporters, the people that are creating the page, to create a page for their loved ones. And so they get to tell the story um, about their loved one. And it's less about American Stroke Foundation and more about the person. But in that, there is a place to donate um, uh, when and share. So a user would create this page. When they submit the form, the page gets automatically created. And then when the page is there are tools to basically share that page with others. And then when they share, there's also more tools where um, the person that created the page can edit the page however they want. They can then also add photos and videos. They can allow their visitors to add other photos and videos. And they can even then have a place on the page where they can provide messages of hope, we call it on this site. And so a user will submit a message of encouragement, and then the creator of the page will get a message that says, "Hey, there's this somebody left a message," and then they can approve it. And if it's approved, it shows up on the tribute page. And so um, then here's an example of that tribute page. Uh, the resulting page, once you submit that form, it has um, information about the person, their story, and you'll be able to go to it. It's uh, tribute.americanstroke.org. And if you wanted to take a closer look at it, it's something that we haven't launched yet. We're actually going to launch this on Giving Tuesday for American Stroke Foundation. But again, it's just one of these ideas we wanted to share with you about how you can uh, take something that's already a concept of the peer-to-peer marketing, but then customize it in a way that fits your own audience. So that was um, any questions so far on the peer-to-peer? Next, we'll go over cause marketing. Um, and I'll start with what it is, just like uh, basically cause marketing is a strategic partnership between a for-profit business and a nonprofit organization that benefits both parties. And this can be any number of things, but the key is to look for true partnerships, not someone that wants to just give you a check. A lot of times when we bring this up to our for-profit clients, they assume that they say, "Oh, well, we already do cause marketing," and what they typically mean by this is, um, um, "We already donate. We encourage our staff to volunteer for certain things, and we give them days off." But what we're looking at is more of a partnership, a campaign or something that connects the nonprofit, the for-profit, and come up with some kind of event or some kind of um, campaign or idea that links the two together. Um, the term cause marketing or um, um, cause related marketing initiative came about in 1983. American Express was the first one to coin the term, and it was basically used um, uh, as a uh, and you see this all the time now, but basically when you use our credit card, we'll give X amount to such and such a charity. And it did really well for them. And so a lot of other people kind of jumped on board, at least with that terminology. I was introduced to the idea of cause marketing many years ago in my time at Barclay. And their most famous example of this was Lee National Denim Day for Lee Jeans. And what Lee National Denim Day did is it allowed people when wearing jeans wasn't common in the workplace. I think they launched this in the 80s originally too. Um, uh, but for $10, you could wear jeans to work. And so it was a concept that promoted jeans, which was their client, but it also, um, they'd have pink belts that people would wear or something. It was something that basically helped the Cohen Foundation. And then Lee National Denim Day turned into something all its own, where they had their own um, spokespeople every single year. They'd have a new spokesperson promoting the National Denim Day. And so even though the charitable thing was um, for the Komen Foundation, the and the brand was Lee, National Denim Day kind of became its own thing. And so when we're talking about cause marketing, that's really the part of it that seems most interesting to me is having that relationship that benefits both. Um, there's something that we're working on that we call good for us. It's something maybe I'll introduce at the end just to kind of mention what it is we're doing. Um, but that'll be something we talk about more in the future as well. So the benefit of cause marketing to nonprofits is to raise awareness for your organization. Um, the other is receive ethical contributions from the business. So typically what we mean by that is, volunteer or other help that you might get from a business that's participating with you, receive funds from the business and gain new supporters. Typically you'll get people that hadn't heard of you before or weren't aware of you in the way that they are here. So a good cause marketing campaign will typically also help you just get you in front of eyes that haven't seen you before. And then there's a very distinct benefit to the business as well. I mean, it increases brand awareness. It builds customer loyalty when they see, when customers see their brand interacting with nonprofits, especially in an intimate way that isn't just, hey, um, the American Express version is, I think, how a lot of people will do it. And hey, we will donate a portion of our profits to this or that, which is fine. But the more engaged uh, a business is with the nonprofit, is where the loyalty really comes from. Helps boost sales, enhance corporate social responsibility, and boost employee morale and satisfaction. I won't linger too much on the business benefits because that's not the point of this, but But then there are also just some community benefits. I mean, really getting the community involved and having this relationship between a business and a um, nonprofit can really increase engagement with the public. And it really empowers younger supporters. A lot of the people that get really engaged um, in a nonprofit are younger folks. So the younger people within an organization or their customer base are usually the ones that will get involved in something like this. And it just helps build the community, especially if there's a really good, solid campaign around it. Um, and again, we talked about some of these already, but um, some examples would be a point of sale donation, just like the American Express example, or customers can donate us. Well, this is customer engagement. Then purchase triggered contributions, which is where the business automatically donates a portion of their sales from a specific product or service. The other one is a digital program for online donations. So customers can select a charitable organization of their choice. A percentage of their purchases goes directly to that cause. But again, the thing if it's something that um, you're interested in from a nonprofit's perspective, we're always trying to encourage our business clients to engage in cause marketing. Um, but it's actually something too that we try to encourage our nonprofit clients and people that engage with us to go out and search and find businesses who are willing to do more than just give you a check, but are looking to partnership with you in some kind of campaign. So that whole partnership piece, um, uh, nonprofits, businesses, and the community leaders can bond together and create a symbiotic relationship through creative campaigns. So that's the piece of it that we try to focus on more than any of the other solutions that might fall under the umbrella of cause marketing. It's that relationship and partnership that I think really has the most potential and the most value. Um, so um, I won't get too much into this because it isn't something that's quite ready, but there is something that we started working on that called Good for Us. And basically, it's a way that where we want to encourage businesses and nonprofits with like quality bases to discover each other and collaborate on creative ways to partner together. Um, so we're in the process of developing a site that works kind of like a dating website where nonprofits will sign up and have a profile, uh, businesses will sign up with their profile, and they're just trying to, and then the community will sign up as well, and they're just trying to uh, partner together to figure out, is there a campaign or some kind of idea that links us together beyond just donating. Um, and again, that's the part that I want to continually emphasize is donations is the benefit or the result, but the real sticky part of a good cause marketing campaign is really having an alliance and a partnership that just makes sense. When you see a certain nonprofit and a certain for business, you're like, okay, yeah, they make sense together. Um, so um, just going back, just looking at some different uh, ideas, I just wanted to now go to um, the idea portion of this and go back to looking at some peer-to-peer ideas. So one is to set up a giving page for peer-to-peer fundraising. So this is where you allow supporters to create their own donation pages that link directly to your nonprofit's main campaign. This is similar to the example that we showed you earlier. Social media takeover, where you partner with supporters or influencers to take over your social media for a day to promote fundraising. So you just basically give them access to be able to really, really engage with your customer base. Um, Donate your birthday campaigns. This is one way that Facebook is really popular for this. You can already do this through them. I think a lot of our clients almost accidentally get um, tagged in certain birthday fundraising campaigns, but to intentionally go out and say, all right, for your birthday or for a fundraiser or some other special event, this is actually how we set up the example page I sent you earlier. Even though it is it more aligns with our first bullet of setting up the giving page. Um, we are doing some other campaigns on social where if it is somebody's birthday, we encourage them to maybe set up a page for some kind of special occasion outside of just the holidays. Um, and then the last one are just some holiday challenges, um, where we set up a themed peer-to-peer challenge. Um, so there are just some things that we can do that we've done before, like a virtual Santa run or 12 days of giving, where we really encourage customers to not only give, but to engage, to create their own part of the campaign with us. So those are just some different ways that we have um, set these up in the past, where we've done like a 12 days of giving type of challenge and encouraged um, uh, our clients, supporters to find additional ways to give. Um, some other cause marketing ideas, again, partnering with local businesses, um, collaborate with shops or restaurants. And again, I have in here to donate a percentage of holiday sales to your nonprofit, but um, uh, really, if it's reaching out to some of those local businesses and um, uh, finding a connection that goes beyond just the giving piece of this. Um, I think as we approach our for-profit clients, we find that a lot of them don't know that this is really a thing. And so when we do introduce it to them, there's typically quite a bit of interest, but it's finding the right nonprofit they're always concerned with. And so if you do have a concerted effort to go out and find a for-profit client that you think ladders up with your supporters and has a connection, finding those businesses can really, there's a lot of interest out there when we bring this up to them. So I think the more we introduce it to businesses, um, um, there's a real opportunity there. Uh, Product sales with a cause, create a merchandise item like holiday cards, ornaments, t-shirts with proceeds going towards your nonprofit. Um, Um, I think there are websites like Bonfire and others that will allow you to create T-shirts and tchotchkes and items, um, and that's a really good site to be able to um, uh, just have some quick and easy merchandise to sell that doesn't require a lot of setup. Um, and then Roundup donations is a really popular one that you'll see a lot. Um, Give me 1 second. Um, and so to kind of wrap it up a little bit and get into just some of the holiday things that, like I said, originally our main theme was going to be holiday type themed campaigns. Um, but we realized that being November, very close to Giving Tuesday already, most of your efforts have already been probably engaged in holiday event type activities. So Um, but uh, a holiday event will help strengthen supporter relationships, provide opportunities for storytelling and impact sharing, and offer sponsorship opportunities for additional revenue. So originally, I think if we had more participants, I was going to have some questions here, but I'll skip those for now unless there are any questions. Um, Um, but then some holiday event ideas, typically um, doing something online that is either a virtual gala or a holiday party online is something that we've done in the past. We've set up auction sites. We're having a donation drive or a holiday themed entertainment. And a lot of that we try to do, virtually. But Setting up a holiday giving tree or wish list, set up a virtual tree or a registry where donors can give specific needs. Um, uh, um, Gift wrapping for donations is one that we've done in the past. And then we've done some things where we've had um, holiday caroling in order to basically an online virtual event. Um, where we accept donations during the event. Um, Finally, just some um, other if it is last minute and there are things that you haven't done, these are some things that we've done in the past that we could help set up really quickly. Um, One was a 12 days of giving countdown. So we count down with a themed daily giving ideas. So each day of Christmas that we set this up, we'd have a different fundraising idea that we would then execute on social media, but also have a place online where people can kind of register and um, participate in all 12 days of giving. Um, I think we mentioned this one a little bit earlier, but the year-end match gift campaign. Um, and this is where the cause marketing partnership really comes into play. But if you do have some really strong um, business partnerships and start to develop those, we can typically ask them to do some type of match, and then um, having a monthly giving push where we encourage supporters to sign up for recurring monthly donations. Um, the monthly donation thing is something that's really worked well. We did it with Rose Brooks and and other nonprofit clients, where once we move people from use the holidays to encourage monthly giving and then really dive into um, a lot more of a subscription monthly giving um, uh, posture, is really something that um, goes a long way. Um, Last few ideas: small actions, big impact. Um, um, a donate a cup of coffee campaign is basically just um, trying to trickle in small donations, keeping your donations small, not big, and doing some things that'll encourage people to do something um, minimal and just get them engaged just a little bit and not ask for a big donation right away, just to start encouraging any type of donation. If you start small, you can ask big later. So um, email thank you and impact updates, send donors um, over the holidays some thank you messages. Um, so the people that have donated in the past, making sure that you're communicating with them uh, come the holidays. I'm sure that's something very common for most nonprofits, but it is something that we've done in the past. And holiday card donations. Offer a holiday e-card that supporters can send in lieu of a gift with a donation made, or just having some cards. A lot of times we've even done physical cards where somebody sent a card to a um, specific user. And one of the software elements, third-party software that we use in the past, really kind of encourages this. Um, uh, GiveWP is something I mentioned earlier on, and in it, there's a place for users to send um, uh, donations, and not only donations, but you can send donations on behalf of somebody else. And when you do that, it will trigger um, either somebody within your organization or another third party to send off an actual physical card that gets sent off, thanking them with the amount. And so just the holiday card donations are usually a pretty big, um, uh, uh, easy way to get into the holiday piece of it.